Good afternoon, everyone, and here we have kisses, or XX, from One Squadron, a Revell F4E, or I should say RF-4E, which has been converted into the Malagasy specialised RF-4M, which was a derivative of the RF-4Cs that they operated with the Americans over Vietnam. And 12 of them were retained until the early 2000s when the Gripen took on the tactical reconnaissance role. The Gripen superseded these and uses a very advanced pod under the fuselage and the centre line. Now the RF-4 Phantom, both in its C version and the Export E version, pretty much in the C, I'd say, was a fantastic reconnaissance aircraft. When you look at the sensors that it was actually equipped with, both in terms of cameras, infrared systems, radar systems, etc. Pretty advanced aircraft. Now, this is the Revell model of the RF-4E, and in all honesty, I don't rate the Revell kits that highly. It's really hard to get a good join here, and as you can see, it doesn't, whilst it's an absolutely beautiful kit in that you get the ejection seats with the perfect details and everything is superbly detailed, it doesn't lend itself to easy building. And I built this kit many years ago. It's not a new kit, and at that time I didn't really understand like how much you had to sand down panel lines and everything like that, and sand down joins. So I don't think I did the best job building it, but actually I do think it's a really difficult kit to build, if that makes any sense. It's a very hard to get kit as well. Revell seem to bring out models and then discontinue them. And I have upgraded this to the M standard. So it has an AUP 184 jamming pod there, very advanced jamming pod. It has this pod here, which I'm not sure is a flare or countermeasures pod. I've now made it a chaff and flares pod, and it does have the chaff and flare dispensers on the inboard weapon stations there. I've also added a night and low level radar system there from the F-15E, the lantern system, the radar component. And I've done it in this scheme which I used to do on all of my Phantoms of this period, like a late 1990s, early 2000s grey scheme similar to the German one. I can't even remember the paints, but it did look good. Like I said, I'm a bit disappointed by the Revell F4Es and the RF-4E kit, and I've actually brought over the years way more Hasegawa Phantoms, which, even though they are more basic, I find them personally easier to build. Now, this one, as you can see, is slightly different because it's got F4E slatted wings, the Agile Eagle program, because I wanted to add the ECM sensors here on the wings. And the slats here give it more manoeuvrability, a lower top speed. But if you're trying to get out of range of a SAM or outturn a SAM, then that's pretty useful. And this whole concept of tactical reconnaissance has kind of, in the age of the drones, sort of fallen by the wayside. And now in terms of reconnaissance, you're looking at signals intelligence primarily, electronic intelligence, and the days of the cameras being used to map large areas have somewhat diminished. So this aircraft handed over to the Gripen, and the Gripens have been using their reconnaissance pods. But for the time, this was an incredibly advanced aircraft. It was kept under armed guard at pretty much all times. And it now sits in the Malagasy What If Museum in one of my boxes, where it will be going shortly afterwards. So overall, a nicely detailed kit. Not the best in terms of fit. If you can get hold of the Revell ones, the detail is excellent. But some things just kind of let it down, like the canopy comes in about 1 million parts. And I honestly, I like the Hasegawa one where you just plonk it on and putty it in. because this one I've had to do it with the canopy open, because actually if you try and do it closed, there's massive gaps between it. So I think Revell had a really good intentioned product, but maybe just went a bit too far in the engineering. Let me know what you think. I hope you like it. This is Kisses. There's the Phantom badge, and this is from 1 Squadron. Take care. Goodbye.